night. Let's talk to Daniel Sohage, who is from the International Human Rights Consultancy, Stand for All. Thank you very much for talking to us, Mr. Sohage. First of all, your reaction to the fact that the flight was halted?
Relief, predominantly. I think that if it had gone forward, it would have been a disastrous mistake for so many different people and so many different ways.
Why? Why would it have been a disastrous mistake?
At the moment, the UK hasn't set up any monitoring in Rwanda, so we've got no way of ensuring that the Rwandan government would actually abide by the agreement on maintaining standards. We know from experience that asylum seekers in Rwanda do face significant hardships. Also, the very principle of it could feasibly undermine the international refugee regime, which puts a far larger proportion of refugees at risk if countries start saying that they don't need to take them, they can send them off to other countries.
Right. British ministers point to polling, which shows that this plan has got more supporters than it's got opponents. I mean, it is popular.
It is popular, and I think that comes down to the way it's been phrased, the way it's been looked at. Everybody wants to tackle channel crossings and ensure that people's lives are safe, and that we tackle trafficking gangs. The problem is that this won't actually impact on trafficking gangs, because majority of the time, people who are trafficked don't actually know what country they're coming to. Traffickers exploit them afterwards. When you hear people about paying, that's paying smugglers. Now, smugglers will inform the people they're smuggling of what might happen. They're not telling them that they might go to Rwanda. So in no way does it actually impact as deterrent on people.
Right. We don't really know that yet, though, do we? It's only just started. The first flight's been halted. You can't say that yet.
Well, we can with reasonable confidence, because Israel attempted a similar procedure. They transported 4,000 people. Now, that was a voluntary process, and the majority of those individuals ended up leaving the country, particularly via being trafficked. Now, as I said, that was a voluntary resettlement scheme. So we can safely conclude that those who are forcibly transported, as in this case, it would be a far higher risk of being trafficked onwards after they've landed.
Sorry, forcibly transported from where to where?
From the UK, because they are.
Oh, I see. Sorry, to take them to Rwanda. Sorry, that's what you're calling forcible deportation. Yeah. Sorry. OK, so next month there is a judicial review, which is when British judges essentially look at this in all its detail to see if this policy is legal. If they decide it is legal, that's it for you, isn't it?
It would come down to individual cases, as most of the cases on the flight did. Yeah. The government has said that it will review each individual case, and that will need to be taken very carefully into consideration. Because if you're looking at, we saw, for example, 3 children who were age disputed, young people who were age disputed, classed as being over 18, but were confirmed as then being under. Now, if we're not casing individual cases on this, we stand the risk of actually transporting torture survivors, children, which would violate other issues, treaties and domestic laws. So that's where it's going to come down to if the case is found to be legal.
OK. Thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Daniel Sohage, Director of the human rights advocacy organisation Stand for All.